What's up? Welcome back to Recharge. Dr. Gene here with
Pam
and
Dr. Ryan Smith.
Pam. You see how far she's come along? Pam. She's getting there. It's more comfortable. It's great. A little bit. This is great. We have warmer weather. Springtime is actually in Maryland. We've had thank you. We've had a dreadful winter / start of spring. It's been really cold, but I feel like warm weather brings about a whole different attitude in people and in their overall outlook on being outside and being active and just being happier. So I'm excited for warm weather.
I think you just want to move more. I'd say overall, you want to get up out of the chair, get up and going. You don't want to sneak under a blanket. It makes it easy for us to do workouts here.
Yeah, I feel like there's certain stages of increasing the perception of motivation. One, it's the change in time, right? The day gets longer, daylight savings time. Yeah, some people kind of bitch and moan about it a bit, but you get more daytime later in the day, which is great. Sucks for the 5 a.m. morning class where it's still kind of nighttime, but later in the day, it's nice to have more time. And then the warmer weather comes around and you feel like you should be doing something, and the weather almost guilt trips you into that. So if you don't do something and it's nice outside, you're like, damn it, I should be doing something.
Sure.
And it's nice to see that there's nature also guilt trips people. It's not just us.
That is nice. Nature and us are on the same side.
Yeah, look at that. We are one with nature. All right, so this week, this segment is obviously going over our week with our members, week with our patients, things that we've seen, some conversations that we've had. So we're gonna go over this week with you, things that we've seen, heard, some themes that we wanna go over, and general thoughts we wanna share with you. You wanna kick it off, Ryan?
Yeah, so we had a Endure Day this week.
What's an Endure Day?
Ooh, I was just about to tell him. Thanks, Gene. What a goober. We have 3 different types of days that give us mindset and context for our workouts. We have practice days and competition days that are as they sound. One is to work on skill and quality consistently with some intensity. The other is to really, really push the intensity. An Endure Day is more so a mental toughness day. The workout is still intense and it's physically demanding, but it's usually longer and it demands a type of mental intensity that most workouts don't often have you do. So this week was trying to string together 100 single unders after doing a farmer's carry for over 400 meters and doing some cardio work. If you didn't get 100 single unders unbroken, that means the jump rope never failed or you never tripped up, then you can move on.
Jump rope never failed.
The jump rope never failed. The jump rope never failed.
Ripped in that door part.
If you didn't mess up the single under or the jump rope, you got to move on. If you didn't, you were penalized by doing more work. So it was great to see the frustration on people. Gene didn't do it, so he doesn't know what jump rope failing means. So good.
Just made it sound like the jump rope failed. It's an inanimate object.
The jump rope can fail. You could project on its failure. It's more like it.
Okay, moving on.
The goal, the idea of that is to test you in a slightly different way. So for people, it was, can I stay concentrated enough to get 100 single unders? Right? For some people, they've never done it before and they got their first ones. For others, they've done it 1,000 times, but when they messed up, it was because of lapse of concentration. And you can react to not having that go your way in a multitude of ways. Some people can get upset about it, some people can just move on. It was more so determining how are you going to be able to get through this collectively while everything else in the workout is trying to keep you from doing so. So it was a good long workout to kind of get people to come up to an obstacle, potentially fail multiple times and still get through it.
They failed, not the jump rope. Just clarifying that point. Keep the people feel. Just making sure. Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, I'm done with that. We're good. What did you see this week, Gene?
A couple conversations that one you and I had, because it keeps coming up, and it's this concept of a time machine, right? Where people keep telling us, well, I used to, and people. You as well, you probably think in this way, is when you get to a point of something that you can't do, but you remember how you used to do it. So if you played sports in college or in high school, where you used to be active, that idea still sticks with you, and your brain has a hard time moving past, this concept of what you were is not necessarily what you are now, and it definitely doesn't mean is what you will be. So this conversation, it's like almost people are really locked in this time warp, and their brain is stuck in this time machine of remembering how they were, which is restricting them how they are now, and more importantly, how they could be. So it's this conversation I feel like I've had several times, more times at least this week, with people, because they kept saying, well, I used to do this, or I used to be that way, or it used to hurt to do this. And my response to this every single time is, you're not here to become what you were. You're here to move forward and become something better, because it doesn't matter what you were before. You're not going back in time. It's not about becoming what you were. It's about becoming something different and better and moving forward. And it's a big mindset shift for a lot of people, and it's hard to process that thought, because we cling to constants, we cling to certainties, and the one certainty that we have is unfortunately something that's already happened in the past, but it doesn't do you any good now. So it's a really, really complicated conversation, but it just keeps coming back. So I had a bunch of those. And the other conversation is near and dear to our hearts, which is the brain. Near to our hearts. But talk about the brain a good bit here, because it's kind of important, right? A little bit. And it's the central hub. It controls everything, the nervous system. And I think the one piece of the brain, or what the brain does that a lot of people don't understand, is that it inhibits, meaning it tunes out so much from your daily life. When it's working properly, when everything is working effectively, the brain is turning down so much input that's coming at you. Sounds, sights, your clothes on you. It's not like you don't walk around all day long thinking, my shirt's on me or my pants are on me, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. It turns it down. Do you? You do? Seem like a stronger chord with you. But all day long, your brain is really shutting down a lot of things. And when it's done really effectively, that's called tuning in, or otherwise known as focus. Right? When we focus, we really tune out even more, and we're really focused on something we have to do. I'm sure this happens. You can think of a case, whether you've been watching a movie, playing a game, reading something, you're just in that zone, and the brain tunes everything out. This is the same thing in health, and especially in pain. When things happen in your body, your brain actually gets worse at tuning things out. So you start to feel things even more, and you have a hard time processing these feelings as normal or abnormal, because they're always happening on the back burner, and your brain's just dealing with it. So when issues happen, your nervous system, your brain gets a little bit worse at tuning things out, at inhibiting. And it's part of the process to kind of help retrain that all these things that are happening are normal, and they always were happening, but now the brain is just not tuning them down as well. So I had that conversation several times as well. I mean, it's almost like a superpower that the brain does, is just turning things down from full faucet going to little drips that are necessary to make sure that your brain doesn't explode.
Where do you want to put that?
Exploding brain.
Almost like when you're doing 100 single unders, you have to focus on getting them
the rope not exploding.
The rope not exploding.
And failing.
I was thinking more focus.
Failing, exploding rope.
What are your thoughts?
What are some good thoughts?
What are some good thoughts?
So a big thing that I recognized this week, not recognized, but just more so observed with people, was that they kept asking the question, am I doing this right? Am I, this feels wrong, this feels right, and using those two terms. And it just took me back to the kind of the differentiation between life and what we do in here, and what we're preparing people for. So I heard this little quote in a course I took: movement preparation trumps movement quality. And so our goal is to get people, moving however they want, really, out in life, right? So they should be able to move however they please. And we differentiate that between how we train in here, because we want movements to be repeatable, especially if we're doing them at high volume or high load. But really giving them that distinction and saying, we do it this way in here so that when you are in life and you have different things thrown at you, you can respond and adapt however your body chooses to at the moment. It's not about right and wrong in that moment. It's about how you adapt. So that was a big theme that I saw from people this week.
Except if the rope fails. Then
True.
You're still on
That
this.
that would be wrong.
That's wrong. On the rope. The rope's
Right.
wrong, not the person. The rope failed.
Of all the themes we could have made out of our conversation, you're focusing
I
on
don't
the
know. It's just that
Semantics.
semantics.
Basically
instead
Words
of
matter.
semantics.
Words matter, Pam.
Right? It does.
It's all semantics.
It does.
It's all semantics.
Unbelievable.
Good.
It really bothers me. No, I think Pam, we had some videos out this week on low back pain and discs and all that jazz, whether disc is with a C or a K, it still remains to be seen.
It's usually with a C, but it can go
Words.
to the K. Yeah.
Words matter. Anyways, we had just the same video on deadlifting weight from the floor. There is not necessarily right or wrong. There's physics, and there's where the load goes in your body, and where you repeatedly put that feels a certain way. Sometimes it feels good, sometimes your body can handle it, sometimes it doesn't. And that's all that really matters, not necessarily that we need to really vilify any certain way that we're moving, even when it comes to deadlifts. Now, I'm gonna have to do it repeatedly in here and train for it with high volumes and high loads. There's a way to load the structures we want because that's the goal, because we're trying to build strength there. And I think that's an overall thing that's tied in nice to what Pam was just talking about.
Agreed. So that's our thoughts for the week. If you have any questions, if you want to kind of go through a little bit more specifics on it, let us know. Leave a comment, shoot us a message, send us an email. If you're liking the reviews or these thoughts, subscribe to the channel. Let us know what you think. Obviously, comments are great. We read through those and reply pretty quickly. But if you're enjoying, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and let us know what you think. Catch you again next week.